again. It's Superintendent Gavon with Greenfield Story Time, Superintendent Story Time, and I get to read to you a beautiful story called Across the Bay. It is a celebration of heritage, but also just of kids everywhere like you. And this is given to me by Mrs. Jessica Gomez, who is a wonderful principal friend of mine from Los Angeles area. So I want to thank her for giving us books to read to you. And also want to say that tomorrow is our last day of school, so I hope you go to sleep right after this story and you sleep well and you wake up tomorrow ready to say goodbye to your teachers for this year and ready to start your summertime adventure. So that's really cool. Hola comunidad de Greenfield, soy Superintendente Galván, aquí con ustedes, leyendo más historias, pero esta es la última semana y mañana es el último día de la escuela de este año. So qué fantástico fue un año con ustedes, un año diferente, pero de todos modos excelente. So, gracias por estar aquí. Ojalá que los niños se vayan a dormir inmediatamente después de la historia para que puedan levantar y ir a la escuela para su último día mañana. So, voy a leer una historia que se llama Al otro lado de la bahía. Y esta es una historia de un niño de Puerto Rico y estamos celebrando los niños y todas las cosas que podamos entender de la familia, porque hay cositas aquí de la familia también. So, gracias por estar aquí conmigo y ojalá que ustedes tomen unas buenas descansos y esta última semana con nosotros aquí en las escuelas. All right, here we go. Across the Bay is the story for tonight. So let's see what we can learn about this boy. And it's written and illustrated by Carlos Aponte. So he not only wrote the story, but he also drew the pictures, which is pretty fantastic. Okay, here we go. Carlitos lived in the town of Cataño, across the bay from the capital. Mangoes, avocados, and banana trees grew in every yard. They were the pride of the people. Most of the families in Carlitos town looked the same. His family didn't look like the others. Carlitos lived in a colorful house with his mother, Carmen, his abuela, and Coco, the cat. Fresh Ausanas filled each room. They were abuela's favorite flowers. Carlitos loved the town of Cataño, but he did not like the barber shop. Buenos dias, Doña Carmen, said Francisco the barber. Buenos dias, Francisco. Just a trim for my handsome little man, please. Carlitos blushed. And if you finish first, said Carmen to her son, I'll be across the street at the beauty salon. Carmen paid the barber, blew her son a kiss, and left the barber shop. Carlitos took a seat and waited for his turn, next to all the other fathers and sons. After his haircut, Carmen returned to Carlitos' home. The little boy stared out the window at the Capitol. Mommy, where is Papi? Carlitos asked. Do you think he'll ever come back home? Carlitos, your father is across the bay, said Carmen. Sometimes things don't work out, but Abuela and I love you very much. Are you happy with us? Carlitos nodded. Yes, I'm very happy. But he always wondered about where his father was. Why don't we go to the beach tomorrow, said Carmen. Imagine the fun that we will have. At home, Carlitos opened a small wooden box he kept by his dresser. Under a pile of cards and comics, he found an old photo of his father. I'll find you, Papi, the little boy said, tucking the photo in his pocket. Next, he grabbed some money from Abuela and slipped under his pillow. He tiptoed quietly out the door and straight to the ferry terminal. Carlitos bought a ticket and sat by the window. So far, so good, he thought. On the boat ride, the boy heard whoosh and splash on the ferry. Through the waves, the ancient city of old San Juan grew bigger and bigger. The trip was short, but it felt like a long voyage. When he entered the city, it looked like a maze. On a sunny corner, Carlitos approached someone shaving iced treats. Excuse me, said the boy. Do you know this man? He showed the ice vendor the picture. No, but there's a woman named Cassandra who feeds stray cats by the cathedral. She's lived here a very long time, and she might know him. In a park by the cathedral, cats lounged in the shade. Some napped behind the trees. I'm looking for someone, Carlitos said to the woman. Do you know him? Cassandra said. I know more cats than I do people these days. San Juan seems small, but it is really a big place. You might have to travel the whole city, and so he did. In a colorful plaza, old men played dominoes. Carlitos asked one man about his father, then another one, and then another one, and no one knew his papi. On San Sebastian Street, people were wearing colorful costumes and sang and danced to the rhythm of guitars. Qué bonito bandera, es la bandera puertorriqueña. The little boy searched the faces in the crowd, but no one looked like his father. Carlitos searched all over the city. He walked so far, he reached the edge of Old San Juan. The castle, El Moro, stood at the top of the hill and overlooked the bay. The only place left is to look at that castle. Papi must be in there. The little boy sprinted across the lawn. His spirit felt as high as the kites in the sky. Carlitos arrived at the steps of the castle. Do you know my father? He asked the park ranger. Maybe. What does he look like? Little boy reached for the photo in his pocket. Oh no! His eyes filled with tears. Somehow my photo is gone. I lost it. Clouds darkened the sky. Rain started to pour down in buckets. Carlitos and the ranger found shelter under an archway. Why are you crying? The ranger asked Carlitos. I lost a photo of my father, said the boy. Do you remember what he looks like? Well, yes. Then he will be forever in your memory. When sad things happen, you can just think of him, the ranger said. I think of them like dark clouds. No matter the storm, the sun always returns and comes back. And just like that, the rain stopped. The sun came out and everything looked shiny and new. Carlitos walked along the water and glanced at the town of Cataño. He wondered what his mama, his abuelo, and Coco the cat were doing at that very moment. Now the sun was beginning to set. Fresh Ausanas, those are the pretty flowers, a street vendor shouted. The little boy smiled. He handed the vendor some money and bought a fresh bouquet for his abuela. With flowers in his hand, Carlitos raced back towards the ferry. His family was calling from across the bay. And Carlitos couldn't wait to see them. And that's the end. Oh my gosh. What a beautiful story. He wanted to find his father. He couldn't find his father. And that's okay because he has a beautiful mother, abuelita, and a Coco the cat, right? But one thing in here that he did that, for you boys and girls, he left the house without permission. I don't know if you caught that. And he went across the bay. And that's probably not something that we would want you to do. So anytime you leave your house, you always want to make sure that your mom and dad or somebody knows where you're going, okay? So that's just a really good lesson. But the other lesson in here is just really to love your family because they love Carlitos, okay? And also, I want to say a shout out to the Oak Avenue Brown Bears. This is your day, and I was wearing your shirt, so I hope you were wearing your shirt as well. All right, so I'm going to send you a great big bear hug, and tomorrow's our last day of school, so we'll see you here tomorrow night. Sending a great big bear hug from our family to yours.